Tuesday, January 18th as we get into things for today. Those of you watching video, it's a slightly longer one because we get to record the whole class, but we get to finish with a game we're going to record. And you might get a chance to see kids win prizes or lose, and we'll see how things go from there. Let's see, from there, Fable Create we're going to talk about in a moment. Home children, when you come back to life, there's a blue piece of paper you're going to need to get from me today, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Living children, you should have written your name on a piece of paper, by the way, just to let you know from there. Secret word speeches, we will get back to, but it won't be until next week. So those of you who still have to do your secret word speeches, I've not forgotten about it. It's just that we're jumping in and doing a different speech this week. Once we've finished all of those, we will come back to secret words so we can do round 2 to get you guys ready from there. And grades and B points have been updated as far as all of that goes.
Nice.
All right. Oh, I forgot to unfreeze it. I'm a giant goober. Hang on.
Goofy goober.
Better than being a goofy goober. There we go. So, we have not talked about Camp Tecumseh with you guys yet. I will in about 2 weeks. We're going to take an entire class period and I'm going to answer a whole bunch of questions for you. If you have had older siblings come through here, there's a chance they've gone, unless your older sibling was in the last year or two, because we have not gone to Camp Tecumseh for the past 2 years because of the plague of death. We finally get a chance to go back this year because we are no longer quite as afraid of the plague of death. Camp is going to be 3 days that you guys spend away from home in the woods. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in April. So it's going to be, we have spring break, come back to school for a week, and then we are gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Globetrotters go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you will not see Globetrotters that whole week. Stars are split. Half of them go with us, half of them go with the Globetrotters. And it works out numbers-wise on that one. It does cost money to go. It's $135. And if you have issues money-wise, we have never not taken a kid because of money. We have scholarships and donations and stuff like that we can use to help out parents and stuff like that. If you don't want to go, probably out of luck, you're probably still going to go. For the most part, every kid goes except for about 10 in the 7th grade. We'll probably have 3 to 4 heroes not go. The reasons for not going will either be discipline issues or your parents refuse to let you leave. And every once in a while, there'll be parents who just don't want their kid to be gone for 3 days. Mostly, once we start talking about it, kids want to go because it's very little homework. It's 3 days away. You're not really hanging out with adults. You're hanging out with teenagers because it's run by a bunch of high school kids. So you don't have to worry about anything. So anyway, you're also going to be in a group while you're there.
Yes.
Between, I think, it is between like 6 and 10 kids. If you want to have influence over who is in your group, you do get to have some influence over who is in your group. But step 1 is, I can't put you in a group until this permission slip is turned in. So step 1 is, if you want to have a friend in your group, you have to get this blue sheet turned in. Even if you later decide you're not going to go, get blue sheet turned in as soon as possible. So for you guys, take blue sheet home, hand to parents, go sign this, I want friends, and then you bring it back and give it to me. In, I think it's a week and a half, we have a meeting with parents, and I'll explain everything to them also, and they'll get a chance to get caught up. The bottom part on there where it has the different medications, those are the ones that you just check off that we're allowed to give you. So if you have a boo-boo or you stub your toe or a bee comes over and gives you a hug, that we can give you stuff so that you're not quite as whiny. Those of you who have big medications you have to take through the nurse, that's a different handout. We'll get to that in the future. All thing you have to worry about is put your name at the top, filling in the middle bits, and having big person in your house sign bottom bits, and then you're good to go. Sooner you get it turned back into me, the sooner I'll get a chance to go through and answer questions. Miles?
I have one question.
Yes, Miles.
Can I sit in your pond the whole day and fish?
You cannot. There's actually no fishing at all.
Dang, that's bull.
I mean, now,
That's boring.
technically there is fishing, but that's because some of the teachers fish, but kids-wise, no. You're going to be hiking and doing other stuff.
You're going to be hiking? I've never hiked in my life.
There is a pond, and you will be going canoeing on the pond, and you'll be out there near the pond. And technically, I guess if you put your pinky finger and wiggle it back and forth while you're in the canoe, something may bite it, but it's not quite the same thing.
Can I jump in?
Is that kid slang for losing points for yelling at a teacher? In that case, yes, non-stop. Haley. No. It's going to be in April, so it's going to be cold and you would freeze and die. Unless you call taking a shower swimming, and then yes, hopefully every day. Because if not, kids get real stank.
Thanks.
Grant.
Okay, we're on Lake Michigan.
Nope. We're on a small pond up in northern Indiana.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different Camp Tecumseh.
It could be.
What?
There's only one. That's just a
There's
different
a
one.
camp. There's a camp that sounds like that.
That could be.
On Lake Michigan that I know.
Yeah, it's a different one. We're not going to Michigan. We're just going to. It's literally a pond.
And how
I mean,
far
it's
is it
bigger
away?
than what you have in your neighborhoods, but it's a pondy, lakey thing.
I got pretty big.
Grant. Good stuff.
Also,
Mata.
What do you guys do?
In 2 weeks, you find out. That's what I spent the whole class period talking about it. Carrington,
So, how far is it away?
about an hour and a half.
Nice.
You have
Yes!
to sit
Good
on
stuff.
a bus for
So we can
an
be
hour
on
and
a
half.
bus
I'm
and
saying
go to
Yes.
sleep.
Yes, again.
Yes.
Allie?
Don't fall asleep on a bus?
Is it like we're all just sleeping in like one room
No.
or multiple kinds?
Uh-huh.
Are there like 4 people in each?
No, there's like 15.
My
Oh,
God.
you were 15 people sleeping?
Yeah, it gets stanky. Well, in the boys' cabin, it gets stanky. In the girls' cabin, it smells like perfume. Busby,
Yes! I mean, no.
Use like communal bathrooms.
we'll explain all of that in 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's nowhere near. All I can tell you for the most part is that when kids go, they have fun. It's a thing. It is not a horrible thing. It's a good thing. It's an enjoyable thing. It's 3 days away from your parents, running around with other bunch of kids,
Let's go.
and most likely, most of you won't die.
Let's
Miles, and I get to move on.
Okay, so do I get to sleep the whole day?
If
No.
if hiking is kids' form of sleep, yes.
Nice.
All
I want
right.
to go hiking.
Blue sheet, you can now put away somewhere safe so that you get a chance to bring it back. Again, the biggest thing I'll tell you is just make sure you get it turned in. The faster you get it turned in, the better chance you have of having friends in your group. Because eventually when we start making groups, if your sheet's not turned in, you get put at the end
One
of the
more
line.
question.
Carrington?
Don't. I mean, so will you be only putting a friend group in this class?
2 weeks. Mata,
Are we combined like with the stars?
in 2 weeks.
He
Destiny,
said that. I mean, he said that.
So is there gonna be like another neutral cabin?
2 weeks. That was a fun thing. All right, so we're good to go from there. So
Hopefully there is.
moving to this piece of paper.
I mean, not.
So, this is what is due tomorrow. The little thing. And I'm guessing from looking around that most of yours are completely blank, which is kind of what I was expecting, which is fine with me. I'm not the one giving it to you as a speech. So let me walk you guys through what's going to happen. One, what parts do you have to fill in? All the parts
All
you
the
see
lines.
with an arrow pointing to it, which would be
None of them.
all the parts. So the part where it has your name, fill in what your moral is going to be, you're going to have your characters, the motifs, fill in the title, and then the actual writing of it, the 2 to 5 paragraphs from there. This again is 2 grades. The first grade, I'm just grading what you have written down. That one's pretty much a completion grade. As long as you fill it out and follow directions, you get all your points. And I've seen some of you guys have already written stuff, but it's just one giant block of words. That does mean you lose points, because it has to be 2 to 5 paragraphs. Giant block of words is not 2 to 5 paragraphs, so that would not be following directions, so it would cost you points. Just keeping you in the loop for that part. As long as you've done the direction-y bits, you're going to get your 10 out of 10. The second grade is where you're going to be turning it into a speech. I'm going to walk you guys through the speechy bits. Much like we did for the, what do you call that thing? Secret word speech, you're going to be standing on chair over there. And then timer will be up here so you can see how much time has gone through. And it'll have the numbers up there ticking through as we go through and do it. This piece of paper, you get to take up with you, but you're not holding it. It is going to be sitting on the corner of my desk while you are standing on chair. You get to look at it up to 2 times during your speech. Looking at it more than twice does cost you points off of your grade. You also cannot talk while looking at it. When you look at it, you have to be quiet. Also, the timer stops while you're looking at it. So you can't sit there and stare at it and just let the clock run. The idea being is that you're bringing this up to help you while you give the speech, but I don't want you reading from it, because that would be incredibly boring for everyone watching you. A speech is where you just stand up there and talk. You've written the fable, so you don't need to look at the piece of paper. You're just going to go off of whatever you created. But what if what I say in my speech is different? That's perfectly fine. Because of oral tradition, I expect it to be different. The only thing that might be the same is going to be the title, and then probably the moral, and then some of the bits in the middle. But the rest of it, if it changes, that's fine. The rest of the kids in the class aren't going to see your paper. I'm going to see your paper, and I've already told you I don't care if it changes. So that's perfectly fine with me. I'm looking for you to be able to stand up there, not wiggle, talk for the 30 to 60 seconds, and make sure your story makes sense, that you follow the directions. You do that, you get your 10 out of 10 for the speech grade. That's the main thing I'm looking for you. While you're up there, again, I'm not looking for you to read from your paper. I just want you to just go ahead and tell us a story about animals that teaches us a lesson. That's the main things I'm looking for. We will take volunteers. So if you want to volunteer to go, I'm absolutely fine with that. With the whole volunteering thing, if you go the first day, you have a better chance of getting a good grade. The reason being is that I'm going to be hearing a whole bunch of stories about animals. At the beginning, they're all going to be fun and new and interesting to me, and I'm more likely to give you a good grade. If you wait till Friday to go, I've heard a whole bunch of kids' horrible speeches that have made me want to cry and jab my eyes out, so I'm going to be a bit more harsh on you. So it usually is more to your advantage to volunteer towards the front, but it also means you have to be brave. If we run out of volunteers, we pick a random kid. If we pick you as a random kid, and your paper is blank, you're still giving a speech. You're just giving what scientists call a crappy speech. Because you're going to stand up there and go, mine's blank. I go, yep, sucks to be you. You go, I don't know what to say. I go, yep, me either. Start talking. And so you're probably not going to do very well. My recommendation is, don't do that. Figure out what you want to do beforehand. Because once you get volunteered, there's not a whole lot I can do for you. So realize not having it doesn't get you out of speech. You still stand up there. And then when you get done, I move you over here to Struggle Town, and you stay there until you finish writing it so I can grade your paper and give you a grade on it. That's it. My goal is to try and make it as easy of a speech as possible. As long as you can stand up there, say what's on your paper, and not die, you're going to get a good grade. If you die, you're dead. You don't have to worry about it.
Nice.
So hopefully that helps you out. Charlie.
Can I go first?
Possibly. We'll find out tomorrow, because I'll take the volunteers. Any other questions as far as this paper goes or what to do for tomorrow? We'll jump straight into it from there. Yeah. If you want to work on this while we're doing other stuff today, you can keep it out and work on it. If you know you're not going to work on it, you can put it away. And that is fine with me. It's not going to bother me at all. Because we're going to jump on to other things now. Mata!
Okay, so we can use like only like the animals that.
Unless you talk to me ahead of time, yes.
And didn't we have a lion in this one?
We did not. I know. Alright. Grant!
So, dang it. Okay, please don't. Can I type it?
Yeah.
While class is going.
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yes.
We'll give it a try. Sure. Yeah.
Do we have to have this many characters?
That's a good question. I should have directions on there and make fun of children who don't roll their eyes
Oh,
at
wait,
me.
say that.
What? Read the directions?
Yes.
I know. What do you think should happen at some point? So, the Fable Notes Quiz. We're going to run through this. You guys have all taken it, so we're good to go. I am not running through the whole quiz because of this. Y'all did well on it. Like the average grade was an 80%, so I have no need to. There was like a handful of questions I'm going to cover that we struggled on, but overall, I don't need to do a whole lot with it because y'all did well. Go you. Here are the questions that we struggled with. Number 7 says, given what we learned last week about how fables work and why they exist, which of these explanations is the best to tell us why fables need to use motifs? First off, how long are fables? Short. Because they're short, we don't have time for exposition. What is exposition?
Character development.
Character development, that's the boring beginning stuff. So this was not in your notes. This was, can you use your brain to do thinky thing?
Obviously.
Which one of those connects to, we don't have exposition in fables? There you go. They are short, so there's no room for character development. So that one was one that was not in notes. That was my just seeing how well you guys could analyze and do a thinky thing.
I can do that.
On this one, we've talked about turtles being slow and rabbits being fast as motifs. Using our notes, which the following motifs would not work. Essentially, this was, did you look at notes?
I looked at notes.
Were pigs in notes?
Yes.
Were mice?
Yes.
Goats and notes?
Yes.
And it rhymes. Kangaroos?
No.
So that's your answer. The kangaroo was in the story fable we read, but it was not actually in the notes. So this was just, did you go back and look at notes? And then our grammar questions. That's
That was
it.
hard.
On the grammar one, I tried to give you an easy
Oh, no,
one to
that
try
was
and help you out. He is what part of speech?
Pronoun.
Yeah, he, she, it, they, we, us. Those are your pronouns.
That was easy.
And then the last one, I know a lot of you guys Google, so I tried to give you a word that can be more than one thing.
That was easy.
Do you know what two parts of speech orange can be?
Yes, a verb.
A noun is one and
Adjective.
adjective. Because you can
Wait.
eat an orange, or you can have something that is orange colored. You cannot orange something.
What
Don't
was,
make me orange you upside the head. It doesn't make any sense.
what was number 13?
Nah, is that trains? That was the verb. I didn't put that one up there.
Okay, so 15 was the one I got wrong.
And then so orange,
No,
so it says orange veggie sticks. Is that a noun or an adjective? There you go. So that was an adjective.
I got
Those
that
are the ones we spent. Actually, even on the grammar ones, I think you guys averaged like a 70 to 80 on the even on those. So you guys did well for those too. So go you. Now, open up iPad. We're going to do a thing where we try to help you. Home children, I mean, you can try to do two things at once, but you're going to open up iPad, go to the main Canvas page, and then scroll all the way down where you see previous week's calendar. And there's a new button below that. I'm going to walk you through the new button. This is optional, but it comes from kids complaining about not knowing how to do grammar. So I'm going to give you a way of trying to learn grammar. Below previous week's calendar is this new button. And it says Grammar Help. Click here. So click there. I'm just going to take you to my webpage, www.mrbroviac.com. Yeah, I have my own webpage. When you click on that, I'm going to walk you through this. So here's my webpage. So here's what works on this one. So kids keep complaining about the idea of not knowing grammar, even though in theory you've learned it in the past, which I completely understand if you're still struggling. Yep. So this is optional. I'm giving you a chance to do notes. I have a little note thing that you can get from me, at the end of class. If you do this, you can use it on all future quizzes and homeworks, and it walks you through all the 7 parts of speech: pronouns, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, interjections, stuff like that. We do have an all grammar test coming up in about a month. If on the quizzes, you are still welcome to Google answers instead of using this. On the test, you cannot Google. You can use your notes if you have them, or you can just use your brain. But on the quizzes, you can Google. But if the Google thing has not been helping you, this might step in. There is a video you can click on, and it is me teaching you grammar. It's like 25, 30 minutes, something like that. I walk you through each step. I give you guys examples. You can fast forward and stuff like that to try and help you out. This is optional. If you feel you know grammar, then you don't have to worry about it. If you feel you're struggling with grammar, do it to help yourself. At this point, you guys are in the 2nd semester of 7th grade. You guys are starting to figure out your own responsibility and your maturity, and you know how smart you want to be and if you need help or not. If you want the help, it is here for you. If you don't want the help, don't use it. It's my way of just trying to offer it up to you. There's also a button on there that says prepositions. There is a set number of prepositions. You are welcome to use that handout also if you print it. And it has a little prepositions list that you can use of every single preposition that exists. Those are all the prepositions that are out there.
Yay.
So that was my goal of trying to help you. I will give you the handout if you want it at the end of class. If you don't want it, I'm not going to give it to you. Questions as far as this? It's not due officially until we have like our first quiz coming up here in like a week or so. And then you're going to have to know it by then, but that's up to you. So you have time. I'll just keep giving you guys reminders.
Oh wait, so we can do it now and then save it.
Yep, and just hold on to it. And then
Next
anytime we have grammar, and I'll tell you, if you have that note you filled out, you can get it out. And then you just bust it out, slap it down, and you can use it.
No, I'm talking about, you said it's not due.
It's not what?
He said that the thing was not due
Correct.
until later.
Well, I mean, you're not going to have to worry about it till our first quiz or so. If you want to print your own paper, you're welcome to, and there's a little handout right there. All right, let's get to our game. Clear away your iPads.
Wait, we're playing the game today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Nick.
Playing Among Us?
Me.
Yes.
Brett,
We're playing
you get to
Among Us in
lead.
real life.
You've now been educated. So,
Okay, Paul.
it is Destiny.
Destiny has student of the week.
He was. She was, sorry. Had the highest number of correct guesses on the thing last week and had one of the highest grades on the quiz. So it was like a combination of both. Destiny. That's why Destiny was student of the week. So,
I should have been.
our game we're going to do today is the Magic Lens Game Show, which basically is grammar.
Yes.
So for this one, to make it as much game showy as possible, we are going to have actual gambling that goes into it with our contestants. We're going to be choosing our random contestants here in a moment. Contestants are going to get a chance to win monkey treats. You have a chance of winning 1 if you go for easy version, or you can win 2 if you go for the challenge version. My goal with this is you're going to figure out whether or not you need to do that handout thing. If you know all of these answers because the audience gets to play along, then don't worry about it. If you struggle today, then that's a good sign that you're probably going to have to worry about it somewhat from there. So here are how the 2 different versions work. So we're going to have, oh, hang on, I got to fix the thing before I forget.
Game
I'll
show.
leave it from there. All right. No, hang on, I have to do the thing. Pause, I'll be right back. Home children, I apologize for the delay. All right, so here is how game show works. We're going to take a volunteer contestant here in a moment, and you come up here to the front. When you do it, you can choose easy mode or hard mode. Easy mode, the way it's going to work is you are gambling for 1 monkey treat. We'll put it up there. You are allowed 1 mistake. Your second mistake, you are disqualified, and then the class will then finish out the rest of that one. If you make it all the way to the end of the sentence, only making 1 mistake, you earn your monkey treat.
Yes.
Or you go for challenge mode. In challenge mode, you have a chance of getting 2 monkey treats. You do the whole sentence no matter what, but every wrong answer costs you a B point. And you are only able to quit after every 5 B points lost. So you have to commit to at least a loss of 5 B points or making it to the end of the sentence. The audience, you can help. There is no ear covering on this one. You are more than welcome to speak up, because in a game show audience, they get to speak up and try to offer help to the contestant on which door to choose or which briefcase to open, so you get to try and help them as they go through. We will also take volunteer for the contestant for hard mode first. So I take bravery over anything else. So first sentence says, Mr. Broviak is a kind and gentle man. On this one, do I have anyone volunteering for hard mode?
Wait, what?
Hard mode is where you're gambling to get 2 mints, but in that case you also lose B points. No hard mode?
Nope.
All right. Do you have any volunteers for easier mode, where you're allowed only 1 mistake, but it doesn't cost you B points from there?
Not me first.
All right, Buzzy. Step up to our contestant
I
spot.
want to go second.
Oh wait, so it's whoever has the most B points out of.
The volunteers, you are
So
correct.
then, how did you know she?
Because I've been paying attention in class. All right, right there, Buzzy. And again, to make things fun, wrong answers do impact everybody.
Uh-oh, Allie.
All right.
This is what drives
But maybe Allie's going to help give her correct answers, and she wouldn't have to cover her
Yeah,
ears.
make sure you give me correct answers.
Mr. Broviak is a kind and gentle man. To help you out, I took out interjections because I figured there was a good chance kids had no idea what interjections were.
Handball.
So I just left you with those 6. All right.
Start the interjection.
Number 1, Mr. Broviak. Is what part of speech?
Noun?
Confidence. You sound scared. Oh,
Noun!
and yeah, you sound angry. There's a difference. And there is a time limit because you'll see the stick rising and then realize I'm old and feeble, so I can't hold it up very long, and it gets all, and then it slams down. All right. So you said it's going to be what?
Noun.
It's correct. Good job. Nicely done. All right. Now remember, you're only allowed 1 mistake. Is
Conjunction?
conjunction. Apparently our audience, you don't have to raise your hand, you can just yell at her. You're in the audience.
Cheeseburger.
All right. Is incorrect. Not a conjunction.
I knew it wasn't.
So
I didn't
that's
know
one
what
wrong.
It was.
Your next wrong, we disqualify you. Do you have still on is? Here is your hint to help you out on this one. On this one, it is sort of like an action.
Oh,
That's your
Adverb?
no,
again,
verb.
confidence.
Verb.
I don't.
Verb.
Adverb.
Verb
Lock
is
it
an
in.
action.
You're the contestant.
Adverb?
Adverb?
Yes!
Adverb?
I told you.
Correct. Thank you for playing the first round, Busby.
Oh, suck.
Grandma, just go. Yeah!
So to the rest of you, what is?
A verb.
Verb is correct. So these things called helping verbs, you have am, is, are, was, were, has, have, had, be, stuff like that. They're ones that count as verbs, but usually they're connected like a big verb. They just sort of combine things. Next up, we're going to skip A. A, and the, I don't do. They're globetrotter words. They're useless. So we just ignore them. All right. Kind,
Adjective.
adjective is correct. Good job. And,
You don't do those.
no, that's
Remember?
A and the. And
Oh.
we do.
Oh.
Verb. No, verbs.
Verb?
Yeah.
Adjective.
Verbs.
Ooh, I hear conjunction.
What?
Then let's vote between verb and conjunction.
He just said that.
It's adjective.
Those of you who say verb, raise hand. Those of you
Oh,
who say
wait,
conjunction,
verb,
raise
no.
hand. Conjunction has it. Is this the right answer? Good job. It's a
How?
conjunction.
How's that conjunction?
Well,
It
when you
says
watch the
and.
video, it'll probably explain all of that.
What video?
Gentle.
An adjective.
Adjective.
Yes.
That's correct. Good job. Man.
Noun. No. Pronoun.
Pronoun. Noun.
No.
Ooh, let's vote again. I see between noun and pronoun. Those of you who say pronoun. Noun. Noun it is. Good job.
What?
Here's our first one. All right. Round 2, contestant. Do we have someone who wants to be brave and do hard mode?
Wait. So
Me.
all of them on there is one of those.
Uh-huh. All right. Do I have a volunteer for easy mode? All right. I think that's going to go to Destiny. Let's see. But I'll make sure. No, it does not. It goes to Zuba, who steps up. All right, Zuba. All right, again. You are allowed the one mistake. After that, we work together. All right. Ready? Here's your sentence. I will read it to you twice. The talkative students anger him. The talkative students anger him. Okay. Ready? Skip the. Oh. Zuba, you'll get a chance to play next time. Well done for your bravery, Zuba.
Talkative.
Those of you who are wanting handout to be able to work on this,